Dear Earthmates, we are visiting a novelist, short fiction writer, and literary translator, Zdravka Evtimova in Bulgaria. She is also the president of Bulgarian PEN Centre and a very busy person. When you look at her CV on Wikipedia, you can see that. Always busy and productive, wonderfully energetic. And this is our first meeting, actually, face-to-face.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Zdravka, dear colleague, for accepting this interview.
Well, thank you for being part of this interview.
Thank you. I can't help saying that I was in Bulgaria in 1976 when I was 23 for a one-week visit in Varna, a touristic thing. And later on, I didn't have a chance. But when you look back, what do you think? How would you compare and contrast the so-called socialist era and afterwards? What would you like to express?
Well, in the so-called socialist era, we had comparatively very good education, very good, and it was free. And I was able to learn foreign languages free. I speak French, I speak German, I speak English and Russian. And the medical care was free. These are on the positive side of things. However, all these positive sides that I have just enumerated, well, we had them all, but we were not free. There was the Communist Party that was in control of everything. It wanted to control the way we think, the way we meet, the people we care about. And it was very hard to live in such conditions because you felt like you were a pet dog, perhaps. You had food enough, you had houses. Everybody in Bulgaria, almost everybody possesses a house and a villa in the village. However, you are not allowed to go outside the so-called socialist circle of countries. You could go to the USSR, you could go to Poland, Czech Republic, Slovakia, which were socialist countries as well. And in order to see what happened in the world, you have to very secretly listen to BBC or other Western media, other Western media platforms. We were very much interested in that. Yes, we had things to eat. It was quite peaceful because it was dictatorship. There were almost no crimes because the police was everywhere. You could not do anything. You were not free to go to other countries. If you wanted, for example, to go to Germany, not Eastern Germany, but Western Germany, there was a very long process of interviews, and usually they ended for you very unluckily. You were not granted a visa. Only the persons who worked for the Communist Party at a very high level could travel outside the socialist bloc. And of course, we were very eager to learn what happened outside the so-called Iron Curtain, what happened outside the socialist bloc. We were interested in the songs of Beatles. We're interested in reading books. I would point out, however, that in Bulgaria we had a very strong and powerful tradition of literary translation. We had very good translations of Western classics like Shakespeare, like John Steinbeck, like Fitzgerald, like Marcus, like Thomas Mann. The world classics were translated at a very, very high level into very good Bulgarian, brilliant Bulgarian by brilliant translators. However, we were interested in learning and reading what happened at the contemporary scene, what contemporary American authors wrote, what contemporary English, French, German authors wrote. In Bulgaria, at that time, in the socialist era, we had only access to writers who had very left opinion or very left views, world views, not their opponents. So what I would say is that we had a very one-sided representation of what happened in the world. And we were very inquisitive, and not only inquisitive, but we did our best to learn what happened, to read writers who criticized communism, who criticized socialist order, who wanted to make a transformation into democracy of the world. And we were very much interested in democracy and how it worked. On the one hand, we were very well prepared with respect to higher education. We had very good, and we still have very good universities in Bulgaria, especially with respect to languages, with respect to mathematics and medicine. We had very good mathematicians and especially programmers, because Bulgaria is a nation of mathematicians, and today we have very hard, it is a tradition that fortunately we could not only keep, but very well upgrade and very well enrich in the modern democratic times. And we were not only lucky, but we fought very actively to make this transition from socialism to democracy. And we can see, and we can compare what it was to live under communist oppression and to be free. Now we can go everywhere in the world where we want. Well, the COVID pandemic, of course, was a very mortifying factor for us, very restricting factor. And now this war, this aggression of Putin's aggression and invasion into Ukraine is changing the world basically and radically. And the PEN Bulgaria unanimously, and only 11 hours after Putin's invasion in Ukraine, very clearly voiced its opinion. We strongly condemned Putin's aggression, and we supported wholeheartedly Ukraine. We collected money in order to assist the Ukrainian refugees in Bulgaria, and we're still doing our best, not only PEN Centre Bulgaria, but Bulgarians, the whole Bulgarian people is doing its best to provide a good roof above the heads of the Ukrainian refugees, and to help them find integration in our industry, to find jobs for them and proper jobs for them. They're very well educated, most of them, and we need them. We need highly educated people, and they're just in their majority. Of course, they are not all of them very well educated, but the majority of them are very well educated, they possess very high culture, and are welcome in our economy. The other thing that I would like to say is that we are doing our best to improve our to improve the way our country functions. We still have a lot to learn, and we are not a very big country. We are only 7 million Bulgarians, even less than 7 million in Bulgaria, and 3 million outside Bulgaria, in the European Union mostly. Some are in the United States as well, and they're doing fine. What we want to do is we do not have natural resources. We are not rich in, Bulgaria is not rich in natural resources. We do not have oil. We do not have like metals or ores, or what we have is very clean Bulgaria and beautiful Bulgaria. We're doing our best to preserve nature as much as possible. And there are very big fines that are imposed on persons who do not follow the rules and do not follow the laws, who break the laws with respect to nature. What other resource we have, which is very rich indeed, is the intellectual capabilities of Bulgarians. The Bulgarians are very eager to get very good education, while whole families work very hard to provide enough money for the young people to help, because it is not possible just to give everything to them. The young people have to work. They study at the university during the vacation, the holidays, they work very hard. Even they work additional hours. For example, if you study to be a doctor of medicine, then you work at hospitals not as an intern, because you do not still have the knowledge for that, but you work as a cleaner in a hospital. You clean the hospital. If you work, for example, if you study to get some specialization in philology, like English philology, French philology, you work in a publishing house where you do not make the literary translation, but you work with the language every time, making a contact between the writers, foreign writers, and the publisher. And these people are they have very big workload. They constantly speak the language, and they are getting professionally integrated, learning the ropes, knowing the ropes of a profession, knowing the secrets, how to deal with a writer, how to arrange copyright, how to arrange all issues and, let's say, problems related to the translation, how to contact the writer and compare galleys. Or if you work at a university like me, I have lectures. I have lectures with my students on creative writing, that I had such a course in China as well. So these students that I teach, they're writers. They're wannabe writers. They want to be writers. So I'm trying to contact them to facilitate their relations with the outstanding publishing houses in Bulgaria, with which I work as a consultant, or which publish my work. So if you are studying biology, then we have very rich traditions in biology in the Bulgarian Academy of Sciences, and the students go there to be interns or to start at the very lowest level possible. But it is a way to go up and up and up and get professional development and build your career from the very low to the very high. You have a path that is open to you, and it depends on you. If you work hard, if you're interested to study, if you want to achieve, nobody stops you. All roads, all paths are open to you. If you don't like Bulgaria, if you think that if you can achieve better, you can go to any country in the European Union. We have different agreements with different universities in the European Union. And if you're good here and say, oh, okay, I think that my prospects as my well, possibilities, my opportunities to become a scientist are better. For example, in Germany, Germany has opened its doors because it needs educated people. This was the way my sons went there. Well, one of them, my elder son, studied medicine, and he is now the chief arts. In Germany, it's Oberarzt. This is the highest art in a hospital in North Rhine-Westphalia. He lives in Düsseldorf. And the other is a computer programmer. We are not rich. I mean, I could not pay for the education at all. But in Germany, the education is to a very, very large degree, very open. If you work during the holidays, and if you work, for example, my younger son, who is a computer programmer, he worked for the university for one of the professors as an intern directly after his first semester. Because Bulgarians are usually very, very good at mathematics, very good. Not only men, we have very clever young women who are good at physics and at mathematics especially. This is the very strong sphere of Bulgarians. We have specialized schools of mathematics at a very young age, from 10 years on. But if you have to be accepted there, you have to pass a series of exams. And for example, let's say about 25 people apply for one place at such a school. And finally, I am very often asked to go to the National School of Mathematics in Sofia. And if you're accepted to study there, then all universities in the world, including Harvard, are open to you, because they're very good. They go to some Olympiads of mathematics and they win first, second, third places. And if you win this, every university, world university, takes you. What I mean to say is that what Bulgaria has in abundance, it is the intellectual capacities of Bulgarian people, not only in mathematics, but in biology, physics, in sciences, and also in humanities too. We have very good philosophers, we have very good literary translators, writers as well. So what we have and what we are very competitive with is our education, especially some universities, not all universities. We have even now a problem that we have many universities, and too small number of students for them all. But the University of Sofia, the University of Economics in Sofia, the Navy School, the National Navy School in Varna, it is in the second place in the world, preparing not seamen, but experts who are capable of, how to say it in English, it is the way how ships, both military ships and commercial ships, are led through the enormous sea spaces, ocean spaces in the world. This is a very good school. It is both for a school that prepares experts both in the commercial sphere as well as military sphere. Bulgarian seamen are very, very famous, and they are very much sought after everywhere in the world because they are very good mathematicians. What makes Bulgaria very competitive is the preparation in mathematics in Bulgaria. It is a very strong thing. Also, preparation in medicine. It's very hard to be accepted to study medicine in Bulgaria, but we have very good professors, in implantology, in operations with human hearts, in these reproductive problems that are very successfully dealt with in Bulgaria. Unfortunately, after the students graduate from medicine from our universities, they are directly taken by other European countries because they are very well prepared, they know very much, they speak languages, because in Bulgaria, we start now My eldest granddaughter is 8 years old. She can speak English, not perfect English, but she can talk to you and you can understand what she tells you. You ask her a question, she will answer. Now, this is everywhere in Bulgaria. It is not, it is, we live in Pernik, it is a town near Sofia, 30 kilometers, because Sofia is overcrowded. As I told you, Bulgaria is 7 million, less than 7 million. 3 million live in Sofia. Well, if you live in your block of flats and look through the window, you can see what your neighbor and your friend is cooking in her kitchen. This is a big problem because it is overcrowded. Many buildings full of people, very expensive flats, very expensive, 1 million euro for a good flat in the center of Sofia. And we have wonderful other cities. We are now starting a program to have in every city, no matter big or comparatively small, to have an enterprise where people can find a job and not to travel to Sofia. In the first years in our transition from socialism to democracy, many of the old socialist enterprises were closed down because they are not competitive or because you were not very clever to preserve what was competitive. And we have a proverb in Bulgaria: when you light a fire, you throw into the fire not only dry sticks. When you're short of dry sticks, you throw green sticks that are not still dry, and they start burning. They start burning. That is what happened when we could not preserve the competitive things of our enterprises. But of course, Bulgarians are very, well, I think they are not stubborn. I wouldn't use the word stubborn, but they're all consistent people. They are not afraid of working. We are a very hardworking nation, a small nation, but a very hardworking nation, and a nation that is very good in maths. So one who can make calculations knows that you have to have an enterprise near your house so that you can go there for 15 minutes, or you can go on foot, get a good salary, have a very clean air that is much cleaner compared to the air in Sofia. I myself work in Sofia. I travel every day by train. I have my friends. We are train friends. We drink coffee every day for 10 minutes, and I have to be 15 minutes before my start of my working day. But I will never lose, and I will never exchange for anything in the world my 10 minutes with my friends. That we drink coffee. We don't drink coffee, we drink cappuccino because coffee is too strong. Writing short stories and novels that were published in many countries in the world allowed me to travel to many places in the world. I've been to the United States 7 times, and I've been on a writer's residencies twice. So I see that Americans, compared to Bulgarians, it depends on the state, of course, but I was in New York. Twice I've been in New York state of New York. I see that the Americans, especially the ordinary ones that are not the high brass and not the top managers that are where the big money is, I can see that they are very much like us. I felt like I've been studying with them. They are not people, they are not, well, their noses are not like that. You talk to them, and what we do in Bulgaria is that we are, especially people who work in scientific institutions, we know that we have to be very much precise. If you say the deadline is, for example, the 1st of May, we are ready on the 20th of April. So there is enough space for us to make adjustments, which are very important. And I discovered that this very high discipline, which is typical of Bulgarians working with mathematics or people who graduated very good universities, the discipline is one of the dimensions that helps us integrate anywhere in the world we go. So not only that we are very well prepared and we know we have the skills and we have the knowledge, because I was in China too. I was in China 6 times. I was in the United States, in France, in Italy, Germany. And I felt at home everywhere I went. Because even China, that they were very hard in China, really harder than us. Not twice harder, but 1.5 times harder than us. When they say that I want, for example, your essay or your short story ready by Monday, I send it on Saturday, 2 days ahead of the deadline. And they're enormously grateful. And when they see that you work like that, they invite you again. You receive an invitation. So I went once for 10 days. I gave 2 times my short stories and an essay that I wrote there. I got an invitation to go for 2 months. Then I got another invitation for 2 months, like that 4 times. One of my books was published there. Another book was published after that. It happens to Bulgarians like that, not because we have connections, not because we should be more supportive of each other outside Bulgaria. I know that, but we are quite individualistic. We rely on our own mind, on our own skills and our own knowledge, because we have worked hard to accumulate this knowledge, to get it, because you go to the university, you have to pay for your education. Education is not very expensive in Bulgaria, but our salaries are not so enormous. You have to work. You work hard. You study hard. Because you do not compete only with Bulgarians. In Bulgaria, you can easily find a place to work. But you have to compete with other nationalities when you go outside your country. And you have to be not only competitive, but you have to know more than them in order to find a better place in a more competitive environment. We know that, as I have already said, we are less than 7 million. But we, from a very young age, are taught, and our parents, my father, who was an electrician, who told me, you are born in Pernik, this town that I told you, near Sofia, where we still live. And it is much more relaxed than Sofia. The air is much cleaner. You can see your friends next door. I don't have a problem. If I have my key in my neighbor, I live on the 5th floor. My key is in my neighbor on the 6th floor and on the 4th floor. So if I lose my key or forget it in my office, I telephone her and she comes and opens my apartment for me. So you feel at home in your country. You don't feel the same way when you go outside. People are, especially in Germany, I had a friend who told me, in order to make something spontaneous or something happening spontaneously, it has to be prepared 1 month beforehand. And I said, oh my God, because I meet a friend in Bulgaria in front of my building, and I said, I don't plan to drink a coffee with that person, with my friend. And I said, okay, I had a very hard working day today. I worked my head to the bones. I translated something difficult, or I wrote something difficult. And come on, sit with me and let's talk to get relaxed. You don't plan for it. It is impossible for that in Germany. It is impossible. Yes. And you know what happened to me in the United States? It happened 2 years ago, before the COVID pandemic. I was near at that time, let me see where. I was at the university in one of the states, in one of the towns in New York State. And I lived in the building where students lived, and I had a room and a key. And of course, I forgot my key because it's my habit. I always forget my keys. And I met the boss of the library, the university library, who said, "Oh, hi, cousin. Hello, cousin." I say, "But I'm not your cousin." He said, "Come on, I'm from Bavaria. Bavaria is in Germany." But I say, "Bulgaria is not Bavaria, man." He says, "Okay, come on. It is in Europe, therefore we're cousins." Because his grandfather was a German. And then he gave me a key because he had some key which he kept in reserve. And I asked him to drink a coffee in my room. He drank a coffee with me and told everybody how I had trust in him to invite him without having met him previously, and I invited him to my room. It was something unheard of. So they said, those Bulgarians are very hospitable, which is, well, not exactly the truth, because you have to have a friend to be hospitable. If you don't know somebody, you're very wary. You said, "Oh, come on, he might be a thief, he might be anybody, a bandit or whatever."
Yes. Wow. You draw very wonderful pictures. I mean, you explain things beautifully, succinctly and clearly. Yes, well, a master novelist and short fiction writer and a translator. I can see you, yes.
Working very hard every day.
I would like to mention one or two things. While you suffered from the official Communist Party oppression, and which I also felt and was very sad when I felt it in my visit in Bulgaria, I, in Turkey, suffered from anti-democratic, despotic capitalism, and imposed, mainly led by the United States imperialism. And and now we are under a growing threat of Islamofascism. Things are getting worse and worse. There is some democratic opposition, but so what I mean is, just like capitalism can be democratic or despotic, I think socialism can also be democratic or despotic. And I feel sad that the words socialism and communism have been negatively because of the terrible experiences, Stalinism, etc. But I still hope that humanity will go beyond capitalism. I mean, profit first, no, people first, not profit, etc., etc. And taking human rights, freedom of expression, these are important, really. That's why we are PEN members. That's why, and I think Bulgaria was one of the first countries in the world where PEN Club was established, I think. The Balkans were very, in 1920s or something, right?
Oh, well, Bulgaria, PEN International was established in 1921, and
Yes.
PEN Bulgaria was established in 1926, only 5 years after the establishment of PEN International.
One of the first in the world.
By Professor Ivan Shishmanov.
Yes.
And one of the best, the best Bulgarian writers were members of PEN Bulgaria. These were Elin Pelin, Yordan Yovkov, Dora Gabe, she's a woman, Elisaveta Bagriana, she's a wonderful poetess, and many others. So we members of PEN Bulgaria today work very hard in two directions. The first direction is to make literature the shortest way between human hearts. It means to turn literature into the only possible means of exchange between people. So when there is a very powerful work of literature, a literary work published anywhere in the world, no matter where, Africa, Europe, Asia, anywhere, Australia, no matter where, we make our best not only to speak of it, but to find a publisher for it and a literary translator for it. In this direction, when when some of our members, one of our members has published a book, we organize readings so that books finds many readers. Another thing, we have some old writers that live on a very small pension. So we collect money to help them. We do not announce their names because they're very proud people. They wouldn't accept money. But I personally went and talked to them, to these people, and I say, it is our way of expressing our gratitude because you gave an epoch to our literature. And it is not dignified for you to live in such bad circumstances, not to have enough money to buy your medicines for your pains and aches, for your illnesses. You have to be medically treated, and medicines are very expensive. So we try to help. Another very important, equally important direction of our activities is to assist writers who are prosecuted by official authorities because of the way they think. For example, PEN Bulgaria was the first one among the PEN centers in the world to support Navalny. We wrote a declaration in support of him. We sent it everywhere, not only in international PEN, we sent it to Russia, we sent it to each of the PEN centers of the European Union. So PEN International sent its gratitude to us and said thank you, because it is a new direction in our work. We are very quick in doing that. Well,
I didn't catch the name. Sorry, I didn't catch the name.
Navalny, who was arrested by Putin. Navalny.
Thank you.
We wrote a declaration in support of him, and PEN International sent its gratitude to us. Said thank you, friends. So this is a very important direction in our work. As I told you, just 11 hours after Putin's aggression into Ukraine, we wrote a declaration. We sent it to Putin. We sent it to Zelensky. We sent it PEN International to all PEN centers that we have addresses, email addresses. We do not get any financial support from the state. What we do is by the money we collect among ourselves. As I told you, for this help, for the old and sick people, for our members that, for example, one of our friends who is of Arabian origin, a very great poet, Khairi Hamdan, he underwent a catastrophe, a crash with his car. And we collected money to help him. He's good, he's well now, nothing wrong. But he was broken everywhere and it was very expensive. So we collected money, everyone. You cannot imagine how quickly we got money for him. And we helped him so much. This is also, we collected 3 or 4 times money for the widow of one of our very good poets, Ivail Ivanov. He died very young. His wife has 3 children. They have 3 children. And she is a librarian. She doesn't get enough money. The salary of a librarian is not very big. So when one of the children was sick and needed to be put through a scanner, we collected the money for the medical fees. When another child was sick with some disease. Thanks God, everything is okay with the children now. But 3 times or four times we have collected money for her, and she's very grateful to us. But we are happy that we could help. We are not rich. We are not a rich organization. We have only, while I was president of PEN Bulgaria, it is in my 3rd year. The tour of duty is 4 years. It will expire in February next year. And I will want another one to get this experience. We work as volunteers. You're not paid. You write the declarations. You organize the collection of money. You organize the presentation of books. You talk to libraries. You visit schools. You visit universities. Nobody pays for your travel expenses. You pay from your pocket for that. But we think that we're doing something which is important for us Bulgarians. We meet young people. Not only I and some of my colleagues teach at universities, but writers of all walks of life, younger, older, very experienced and old writers and poets are invited to universities, schools, primary schools, junior high schools, so they speak with young people and they try to inspire them to write. Well, they honestly say, you don't get much money by writing, but you have lifelong friendships, which is the truth. And you live, as you yourself, Tariq, know very well, that you live 100 times longer than everybody else because you live with every character you write about. You live his life. And this is what we tell our young students at primary schools, junior high schools, universities. We are very active, go there. Of course, we do not get paid for it, but it is so good to see the smiling faces. And we are very sure that we'll have very good writers in the future. And we do. I've been a member of the selection boards for very young, last year, for very young Bulgarian literature, up to 18 years. Then I was to the literary debutants, that make their literary debuts up to 35 years. I was a member of the selection committee of Elias Canetti competition, literary competition that is international, and we read the best Bulgarian fiction works in the year 20 and 21. And now I'm on the selection committee of the best Bulgarian novel, for the year 2021. So I can read everything. It is hard times. You do it for very little money. I'm absolutely honest. I'm not lying. My husband sees, and when I get the books, I give the books free to the schools here in Pernik. One to the high school, which is a very good language high schools. I was a teacher after I graduated philology, my master degree in American literature. I taught for 2 years there. My daughter was at that time 2 years old, and I had to be at home for until she gets to the kindergarten. And I love this school. And I also give books here to the school where my 3 children studied, their primary school. And you cannot imagine how happy the students are, because they are the newest books, the best books that have passed many levels of selection. Now, they're expensive books, and the school is not so rich. It can buy 3 or 4 or 5, let's say 10 books. But I gave them, the one school, I gave them 23 books, and the other I separated. For the younger, I've selected the appropriate books, and for the older, for the high school, the other. There were 48 books altogether that I read, and I separated in 23 and the other to the younger students in the primary school. This is what all PEN members do. If they have something, we try to give our communities, because at that time we are undergoing financial problems, not only because of the war, but because of COVID and because there were some hardships in developing the industry. And we are trying whatever we have and whatever we read, not to sell it. You can sell it, of course, but the money you get is nothing compared to the thought that you gave the school. And these books can be read by many, 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 many young children and young students. It's very good. We believe that we Bulgarians, I speak again, but I try to tell my students at the university and the pupils at schools that they're very clever. And what they have is their intellect. They have to develop it and they understand it. They know that we are not rich. We cannot give money and pay and go to the best universities. The only way to go to this best university is to study and have here, knowledge here. Nobody can take it from you. You pass through competitions, you win the competitions, and many of our students win their places in these very good universities everywhere in the world.
Wonderful. You have a great human potential. You have a great, as you have expressed, I'm very much impressed. I have had positive ideas about the Bulgarian society, but I didn't know your society as well as, thanks to you, I do now.
Of course, we have problems. You might think that everything in the garden is lovely, but not everything in the garden is lovely.
Of course not. Of course not.
We have criminality, crimes too. We have corruption in society, but well, we are trying to fight it. We are trying to fight it. I'm not very much in the know of how to fight corruption, but there are some institutions that are fighting corruption. I hope that they will be successful. Not everything is lovely, but I tell you, at the level of ordinary people, I mean middle class or upper middle class, or we are trying to get the integration of the Bulgarian Roma population. Bulgarian Roma, well, I myself, I was 2 years, as I told you, a teacher of English. In the beginning of my teaching career, I was in a Roma school. 95% Roma children. And they were not very keen on learning English. They didn't care about English. And I said, okay, if you want to get better marks, we're going to make part of a Shakespearean play, A Midsummer Night's Dream, for 20 minutes. And we selected people. And I said, everybody who participates in this play, very short one, not the whole play, of course, just 20 minutes of it, will get not an excellent mark, not a very good mark, but a good mark, which in Bulgaria is 4. Our excellent mark is 6, very good is 5, good is 4. If you get a 4, you cannot be accepted to university. But a 4 is not a poor mark. It's a passable mark. So I said, you get a 4. And I selected these Roma children that did not care about English. At that time, we did not have computers. It was a long time ago. It was, when was it? It was in 1991, I guess. No computers at that time, or 92, perhaps these years. And I gave them to cassette recorders to listen. You cannot imagine how quickly they got the very good English accent. They spoke practically without accent, like native speakers. These children that did not care about English, that did not live in wonderful houses. And I trained them for 2 months and a half. And when the time came to make the presentation of the play, the whole Roma population of the Roma quarter of my native town, Pernik, came. It was in one of the gyms. The school is a Roma school, not a Roma school, but 95% of the school, the students are Roma. And there was a gym. And we made the play in the gym. The gym could hold about, let's say, 60 people. There were 400 people. And there were the grandfathers, the grandmothers, uncles, sisters, cousins, everybody. And they were looking at me very badly and very angrily. And I say, they will beat me now. And they'll say, hey, come on. You have been tormenting our children with your stupid English. I was very much afraid. And because everybody was looking at me like that and ready. And I said, I have to find a way to run away, because if worst come to worst, you have to save your life. But, well, the play started. And they played so wonderful. And finally, they when we finished, music, Roman music went on, and the whole, all people started dancing, and finally they were clapping so loudly, and one old Roma woman, she was not so old, maybe my age, but her hair was white. She was quite tall, because we Bulgarians are quite tall, especially in Pernik. But she was not only tall, she was only big too. She said, oh, teacher, tell me what you need. I'll go and I'll steal it for you, she told me. And I say, no. And she speaks in a Bulgarian dialect. It's very funny if you listen to it in Bulgarian. I'll go and I'll steal it for you. And I told her, listen, what lady? I am making this play with your wonderful children here to see how talented they are. I want to drag them away, to wrench them away from stealing. I want to show you how talented they are. They can become wonderful actors, singers, songwriters, scientists. No need of stealing. So it was something I will never forget. And I love Roma people. And my latest novel is about Roma people. Not all of them. But when I was young, we lived very, very near to just Roma population. They were my friends. I even know some words. When I was young, I couldn't even understand what they were speaking about. And now, what happens that a lot of the Roma population goes outside Bulgaria, but they find very good jobs. When they come back to Bulgaria, they build wonderful houses, wonderful houses. One of my students has remembered me, and a young man, I'm coming back from work, tired in the evening, and she said, Madam. And I said, what is it? And he said, do you remember me? I'm Nikolai. And I said, well, I know many men called Nikolai, but I don't remember you. I am this guy that I played. I did not play the main role in the play, but I was one of the sentries there, one of the soldiers who kept guard. And he said that he had a very good job in the Netherlands now. And he told me he got a very beautiful house. He said, do you want, come with me, I'll show you my wife and my children, and we'll drink rakia. I said, I'm not drinking rakia. Rakia is Bulgarian gin. Bulgarian.
Rakı, it's one of our national drinks in Turkey. Rakı.
Rakı. We have rakia, which
wine and rakı are...
Yeah, brandy, like brandy. My father, by the way, used to brew.
No, it's like Greek ouzo. It's
no,
like ouzo.
It is ours is made from different sort of fruit, like plums, like not apples but pears, especially apricots, which is very good.
Yeah, plum is also a source of rakı. Yes.
Yeah, that is what it is. But since my father used to drink a lot. In fact, Pernik is a town which is very famous for men who are very strong, but they drink a lot. That's the reason I said to my father and to my mother, I will not marry a man from Pernik. That is what I did. A man I married from Veliko Târnovo, the ancient Bulgarian capital, who doesn't drink. So this is, he's a machine building diploma engineer, and my 3 children have taken after him. They're very good at mathematics. They speak English. They speak German too, my sons. My sons are in Germany. And perhaps they will stay there. which is not a good thing, which is not a good thing for Bulgaria because they're clever men. One is a doctor, the other is a programmer. But my daughter remained in Bulgaria. Her husband is, again, very good, somebody who's very good at maths, but she is a teacher at a kindergarten. She graduated finance. She worked in a bank, for 3 months. And she said, I cannot stay there. It is absolutely boring. I will die. So she asked me, Ma, can you help me to take care of the children for 3 months? And I said, okay, I personally cannot, but perhaps your dad can. So my husband, who is very good with children, because he is so generous, he never quarrels with them. This is very typical of Bulgarian men, very typical. We women are very, well, severe. If the child does something at home, he has to clean immediately. But the man says, the husband, the father, the grandfather, okay, I will do it. He does not do it. When I come home, I do it, but everything is allowed. So he took the children for 3 months. As I told you in the beginning of our story, we bought a small place at the Black Sea coast near Kavarna, not Varna, Kavarna near Kaliakra, Cape Kaliakra, which is 40 kilometers to the north of Varna, not very far. And he was there with the children for 2 months and a half. So she graduated. She did something and got a master's degree in pedagogy, in this preschool pedagogy. And she teaches young children up to the age of 6. And she's very happy. I can see her coming back from work singing. And I went to see her kindergarten. I was a guest there. And some of the young children she teaches, they are 3, the first kindergarten group, they called her mommy. And she's very happy. So I can imagine, I was, in the beginning, I was very angry. And I said, listen, we took care of your children to study finance. You graduated, she's master in finance. And she said, no, finance is not for me. Come on. But when I see her, how happy she is, and her children at home are very happy, well, we're happy. We said, okay, you did the right thing. This is what we Bulgarians do. We are trying to help our children no matter that they're grown. Not like that in Germany. I see now in Germany, my grandchildren in Germany, one is 6. He's in the 1st class. If he cannot do very well at school, his mother doesn't give him a hand. She doesn't help. She gives the child at school to the teachers to deal with him. She says, they are paid for that. I have my job. No, he must learn there. It is his life. He must learn there. This is what she does. And I can compare between German people and Bulgarian. I went to see her. She gives them breakfast from 8 o'clock in the morning to 8:30. She has 2 children. One is 6 and the other is 5. The boy and a girl who is 5. 8:30. At 8:30, she collects everything from the table. Doesn't wait for them to finish eating. If you ate something, you ate something. Then she gives them exactly at 10 o'clock a glass of natural juice, freshly squeezed natural juice. At 12 o'clock, 12:30. At 12:30, she collects the dishes. If you have eaten, you have eaten. If you have not eaten, you go hungry. And she does not give them to eat chocolate, does not let them eat like crackers. These were, she said, bad food. They will get fat and like that. And she keeps the refrigerator locked so that they cannot go and eat between the meal times. And I was there and she said, okay, I will go shopping. Can you stay with children for 45 minutes? And I said, okay, because it's very natural. I go to my daughter, I can stay whole day. She said, okay, to 45 minutes. I said, okay. She went there and I was so sorry for the kids that unlocked the refrigerator. And I started eating, you know, sweet things, meatballs, well, sausages, like that. And she comes back home and she just finds me and the children eating and the window and the door of the refrigerator, of the fridge open. And I said, oh, come on. She will just kick me out of I said, excuse me, but they were very hungry. And she says, oh, you know, I'm really sorry for you. The children have their ways of deceiving you. And now they will not have dinner. And she did not give them dinner that evening because they have more calories than they should, which is in Bulgaria absolutely unheard of.
Well, there are really cultural differences, and I remember this theater directors, a German theater director who escaped to the United States from Hitler's Germany.
Uh-huh.
And he's directing a play, and to the American actor, he says, walk onto the stage, 10 steps, stop, and turn this way. And why? Asks the actor. Because I say so. Now, this director escaped from Hitler. So, you know, it's very interesting, this cultural thing. I mean, Turkish and I think Kurdish also, and I think Greek mothers would probably do the same like you. I mean, I think the Balkans, actually, we are very much alike. The Mediterranean, especially, you know, the Balkans and the Mediterranean. I want to, here in Turkey, there is a re-Ottomanization movement, as you know, led by Erdogan, and some people they dream that the Ottoman was wonderful and that the whole, that Turkey should get rid of the secular republic, Turkey should become a sultanate again with all those geography, etc. This is terrible, I think, and many people like me, we are against this re-Ottomanization thing. What do you think about this, the Ottoman period and the national independence movements of Bulgarians and Greeks? Naturally, I mean, people wanted to be independent from the Ottoman imperialism.
Yes, they were the Bulgarian people wanted their national liberation. And it is very easy to understand because every nation would like to manage its own destiny. What is typical of Bulgarians is that after we got our national national freedom, we are from the very early age we are taught to show respect for every people in the world. We are not willing to fight or to make disputes or to create enemies. No, we do not want to be a part of the we don't want to be a part of the territory of pain. What we want as a nation, as national national characteristic feature is that we don't want to be part of the territory of pain. We would like to decrease pain because our national development has passed through many stages that were very difficult. So we can understand, and we do understand, what pain and restriction and hunger and wars are. So it is our desire First of all, we always show respect. We are taught at school at a very young age, starting from the kindergarten tree. When you have some foreigner, no matter if he's black, brown, or whatever, treat him with respect because he is a human being. He has a heart like you. If he cuts his finger hurts. If he's got some disease, he has to be cured and not to be let unattended, not to be left without care and die like a dog. So this is what we treat, this is what we try to teach our children. This is our basic concern, starting from the kindergarten, primary school, junior high, high schools, universities. Respect is the word that we try to teach younger generations. I have always so far found friends wherever I went in the world or whoever I met in Bulgaria, because I see that if somebody is here, he might have problems. I don't want to be a part of his problems or increase his problems and make them unsolvable. I want to solve the problem for him, or at least decrease the pain that he experiences. So this is, since we are not many, we are very closely knit with our families. No matter that everything is expensive now, you cannot pay the bills for your brother. But if your brother, I have a brother, today is his birthday, by the way. So when he says, I'm older than him.
Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. His name is Vladimir.
Vladimir.
Yeah.
I have a good Croatian friend, Vladimir Bogdanic. He's
from Croatia. Yeah. I was in Split for a writer's residence for 1 month last year in October, the whole October. So when he calls me, says he doesn't call me Kako, which means older. This is the appellation for the older sister. He doesn't say, "Oh, I don't have money, give me money." He never says that, but he can say, "Well, my wife and I, we have a problem. Could you come here and help us, for example, cook this because you're going to have many guests?" I would do that gladly. If my car is broken down, and if my husband is not at home or is somewhere, I call him and said, "Brother, come on, my car doesn't want to move. Come here and help me." He comes immediately. This is what we do, still do.
Very important. And by the way, when you see Oleg Popov and Christo Boychev, please.
Christo who?
Christo Boychev.
Christo Boychev. Oh, yes.
He's famous in Turkey. You know, the plays.
He's great. He's, Polkovnik, the Colonel Bert.
Yes. I
know him. He now lives very near the native village of my husband in Trnovo region.
Wonderful.
Yeah, in Polski Trębesz. He lives in Polski Trębesz.
Wonderful. Yes.
When I go to my husband's village, my husband got an apricot garden there. Very good one. Wonderful. Not a big one. We don't want any big, but we can go and see him. He's wonderful. A good man. He's a very good man.
When he was in Istanbul, his plays are wonderful and he's a very nice person. Well, thank you so much. I cannot thank you enough. It's been a great pleasure for me. And I'm sure everyone who listens will learn a lot from you.
Bulgaria is a beautiful country. When you came to Varna, when you visited Varna in 1976, Varna was beautiful, but it is magnificent now. And especially, I don't like big cities because every day I work in Sofia. There are wonderful, wonderful places in the Rhodope Mountains, in the Rila and Pirin Mountains. We can go skiing. It is quite expensive, but you can always find some cheaper rates if you're careful. So we go skiing, we can go swimming in the Black Sea, in the, we have dams. We just block the rivers when we make very big dams and you go swimming there. We go swimming to the Danube. So if somebody comes to Bulgaria, he will positively find a place that will make him want to come back.
I'm sure. I'm sure. I hope to be able to visit you.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. I'll take you to my husband's apricot garden, especially, listen when, in July, when the apricots and the peaches are ripe.
Oh.
This is the wonderful place. It's not a rich house, you know, it's just a very good roof and clean, not a rich one, but it is beautiful. It's clean, it's green, and the apricots and peaches are wonderful. You can pick them from the trees.
Thank you so much. And my respect, please say hello to your husband and all your family, children, grandchildren.
Well, they're here.
Wonderful.
I'll tell them immediately.
Wonderful, wonderful. It's been a delight, and we are together. This is what I enjoy saying at the end. We're together.
Yes, we are together. Thank you for this conversation. You're very good at asking questions.
Oh, really?
Yes, yes, you are.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Anything else? Anything else? What would you like to recommend or suggest to young Earthmates?
Perhaps organize a meeting somewhere we can see each other face to face. That would be wonderful.
Yeah. Okay.
That would be wonderful. Somewhere after the war in Ukraine ends, I hope it will end.
Yeah, me too.
Well, I hope that Ukraine will win. And so,
yeah, I hope
yes.
so.
Yeah. Okay.
The attack unfair. Yes, we're together. Take care.
We're together. Yes, take care too. Goodbye. Goodbye. Bye. Be healthy and happy, you and your family. And all people under the sun. Goodbye.